So welcome to what is going to be a book fair haul, but I haven't gone to the book fair yet. I haven't bought the books. I'm going to take you along with me and we'll see how many books I get. This is a book fair that I go to every year with my sister. It's run by a local community group, so all the money that they make goes towards good causes, and all the books are super cheap. Usually I think $2.50, but we'll see if the prices have maybe changed because I think it went up at some point. But we pretty much go every year, and every year I remember that I start looking at the books and I think, oh, maybe there's not going to be anything here that I want, and then I end up getting a lot of books. I don't want to get too many books because I am trying to reach TBR 0 at the moment, and so obviously if I buy too many that will be a problem. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm going to take you along so you can see what it's like.
Dancing to your beat, wanting to blend in, no self-expression, 'cause I wanted you to see I'm not so different, fit in your system. So why do you tell me I'm wrong when I say the same things that you say, and you double the standards because you only like your way? So keep running your mouth, 'cause I'm tired of walking away. I want you to turn around and leave. Every lie you fed me, I can see. Oh, you think I'd cry, you think I'd die, but I feel so freaking alive, funny. Now I got you, falling to your knees. Falling to your knees. Falling to your knees. Falling to your knees. Now I got you, falling to your knees.
So,
It's not books, it's just children.
oh, I don't actually want to buy any children. They've upgraded. And they've got this fancy, like, what is it? It's got shelves in it. You can put your bookshelves on there. You can put books on there. They've got built-in bookshelves on the edge of their classroom. I guess that's not what that is.
Like maybe it's for shoes.
Probably for shoes.
Make some noise. Oh, I want you to turn around and leave. Every lie you fed me, I can see. Oh, you think I'd cry, you think I'd die, but I feel so freaking alive, funny. Now I got you, falling to your knees. Falling to your knees. Falling to your knees. Falling to your knees. Now I got you, falling to your knees.
Hello, so it's the next day and we were very lucky to get a nice sunny day for the book fair because now it's really rainy. So I have my two massive bags of books. I can't even hold them up together. I'm gonna go through them. I got quite a few, and to be honest, it's a 3-day book fair, so it's still going tomorrow, and they keep putting out new books all the time, and I'm tempted to go back tomorrow. I'm also tempted to go back today, but like going every day, it's a little bit over the top, and I've already got too many books. Probably I shouldn't go back tomorrow, but maybe I will. Anyway, we're gonna go through all these books. Some of these I have already read, so they won't add to my TBR, so we'll see how many I add to my TBR. I'm kind of thinking of the idea that I will put all the books that I have obtained from this into a box and just like not worry about them until next year, so that this year, if I still finish all the books that are currently on my TBR cart, I would still kind of count it as TBR 0. Is that cheating? Probably, but I don't care. Anyway, let's start going through these books that I picked up. Firstly, I did grab 4 Sweet Valley High books. They were $1 each. And at some point I kind of want to do a reread of a whole bunch of Sweet Valley High books, so I've just been picking them up whenever I see them. I actually managed to get the first book, Double Love, so that's important. I also got a couple with this kind of cover, which isn't my favorite, but this one's some kind of Halloween one. This one also seems to have the police involved. This one has a weird like real life cover, which I don't really like, but I thought, why not? Oh, although I'm reading on the back now, it actually says book 3 in an enchanting 3-part mini-series. So that's weird. Oh, because now a hit TV series. This is around when the TV series came out, which will be why it has weird real-life pictures on it. Anyway, 4 of those, they go on the TBR, but like in a special section for one day I'll read these maybe. It doesn't count towards the TBR card, is the main thing. Where am I putting these? Because I've got a lot of books and this is going to be a mess. Let's try and like just randomly put them behind me and see how that works out. It'll probably end in disaster, but never mind. I also have 3 Anne McCaffrey books that I have read before, and in fact, I used to own these before. The Crystal Singer and Kilishandra, and I think there's another book in this trilogy. Oh, this has got like a weird stain on it. But anyway, I used to own these and I got rid of them and I have had regrets ever since. So I saw them, I picked them up. Also $1 each. This was $1 each. This is another one that's part of a trilogy that I used to own and I got rid of and I had regrets. So I picked it up. So these don't add to the TBR either. They're like weird science fictions. This one is like she becomes a crystal miner, but when you do that, it kind of changes the way that your brain works. I can't remember it that much. And the Rowan was just kind of science fiction with like this psychic family. It's been a long time since I've read these, but I would love to read them again. Still not added to the TBR. Where are these going? On top of these? Sure. This is the not added to the TBR section maybe. Okay, what else is in here? Oh, now we've got 4 books that when I saw them I gasped. There were 2 times during this book fair that I gasped when I saw books because I was so excited to see them. This is one of them, Fool's Errand. Let's see if I can find the other 3. Oh, interesting. So I got Fool's Errand and The Golden Fool, which is book 1 and book 2 in the 20 Man trilogy. And I also already have here, you can't quite see it, Fool's Fate, which is the 3rd book in that trilogy. But I just looked in this book, The Golden Fool, and it actually lists the 3rd book as Fool's End in here. So I don't know if that was a title change, but that's kind of interesting to see. So that means I've got all of this trilogy now. I probably would like at some point to get a 3rd book that fitted in there. That's part of why I kind of want to go back again to see if I could find more books from this trilogy. But just because these 2 were at the book fair doesn't mean the other ones won't be. It doesn't mean someone else hasn't already taken them. But maybe they're there in a different box. I don't know. Anyway, I got those 2 and I also got 2 books from the Live Ship Traders series. These covers I quite like. If you are super observant, you'll notice that this is book 1. It's actually right behind me. I already have it. But this new edition is slightly better quality than this one, so I picked it up anyway. It was $3, I don't care. And I can give this to someone and convince them to read it. So, these are another 4 that I was super excited to get, but also they don't add to my TBR. Okay, what else do I have? So I think we get a bit random now, but maybe we still aren't adding to the TBR. So I've got See You Later by Christopher Pike. Christopher Pike was like my favorite author kind of in my early teens. He writes kind of like paranormal horror thriller type things. I don't really remember what this one was about, but I know that I read it. The synopsis doesn't really tell you much. It's like this guy is in love with this other girl, but that girl is already taken. And then he meets this other girl that's like obsessed with him being with this other girl. And they come up with this elaborate scheme to break them up, but he kind of doesn't want to do it. But I kind of remember maybe this was the one that also had this weird computer game, which was based around like a world war, but the way to win the game was not to start the war. I don't remember, but this doesn't add to my TBR yet either, because technically it would be a reread when I get to it, and I might do like a Christopher Pike reread at some point. As well, I have Midnight Crossroads by Charlaine Harris. This is like a spin-off series from the True Blood series. It's kind of set in the same world but with completely different characters in this little out-of-the-way town called Midnight at this crossroads in the middle of nowhere, and there's vampires and witches and psychics and kind of like a murder mystery. Oh, and angels. And I just really liked the small town vibe of it, so I thought I would pick that up, but I've read it, not added to the TBR. Oh, this is a mess. This is gonna end up with everything falling on me, I am certain. As well, I did pick up Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. So this is a book that then had a movie made by Peter Jackson. I watched the movie. It was not quite as good as I was hoping. However, I do just really like this cover, and I did kind of want to read the book at some point to see what it's like. So since it was such a beautiful edition, I thought I would pick it up. And then when I was in the children's section, I found another book that goes with it. This one is quite interesting because they split books between the adult section and the children's section at the book fair, but they don't always do a great job of like keeping it clear what's what. But this one I think is like a book of short stories set in this world. That's what it looked like, but it's the same beautiful covers, so I thought, why not? These will be added to my TBR, so that's 2 on the TBR. Then I got Wicked by Gregory Maguire. So actually, I used to own this whole series and I really liked it, and at some point I decided to sell it. I think around the time when I thought I had too many books and not enough money, so I sold it and now I don't own the series. However, I saw this, and as well, my sister and I have tickets to see Wicked in September, so I kind of want to reread the book before then. So when I saw it, it seemed like good luck, and I think actually there's another book that goes with this. Can I find it? Oh yeah. My sister also found in the YA section, see how I told you about the splits not always being good, Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire. So this one cost me $1, this one cost me $3, but this is the second book in that same series. I really loved this when I read it. It's about the Wicked Witch of the West, but it's like the story of the Wizard of Oz, but told from the Wicked Witch of the West perspective, and I really liked the world building in it. So I'm excited to read these, but that is 2 more. Oh, is it? Technically, these don't go on the TBR because I have read them before, and that's how I'm making the rules work. I don't know what I'm doing with these stacks. We're just putting things randomly. It's all gonna fall on my head. It's great. Then my last books from the adult section. I've got Black Prism by Brent Weeks. So I read this at the start of the year and I really liked it. It's this world all set about this like color-based magic, but also there's like this religious figure that can use all the different colors, and only one person at a time is meant to be able to do that. However, we got 2 twin brothers that both have the power, and we start the book and one of the brothers has the other one locked in this magical prison secretly. No one knows he's there, and you don't really know for 100% which one is the good one and which one is the bad one, although general belief is that the good one won the battle and killed his brother, but he didn't. So what's really happening? Oh, I really loved it. And as well, I found the 3rd book in the series as well. I was really hoping that since there were 2 there, I might find some more of the series, but I didn't. But still, I'm excited about owning these. They're not the same editions, but I don't care about that when I'm buying secondhand books for cheap. So this doesn't add to the TBR because I've already read it. This one kind of adds to the TBR because I haven't read it. However, it's book 3 and I don't own book 2, so it goes into my separate pile of books I need to read but I can't read at the moment. So it kind of doesn't count. Let's not count it. Okay, now we're moving on to my bag from the children's section, which had like YA books in it and also some adult science fiction books in it, which a lot of those science fictions were actually fantasies. Anyway, from the other section of the book fair. So what have we got? Okay, then I got 3 books, and I'll be honest, I only grabbed these because I've seen some people doing like read-alongs of this series recently, and also the editions I found had 2 of them had these sprayed edges. They actually had the whole series there, which is like 7 books, but I only grabbed the first 3 because I didn't want to be too over the top given I haven't read the series. But it is the Skullduggery Pleasant series. So I've got the first book, unfortunately not with sprayed edges, but then Playing with Fire with green and The Faceless Ones with blue. And I honestly know nothing about this except it's obviously some kind of paranormal middle grade, a book a lot of people liked in their childhood. I wonder when it was actually published. 2007. So these 3 will be going on the TBR, but they're middle grade, so they should be super easy reads when I want to read them. Okay, so then also I picked up The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket. So this is the 2nd book, I think. Series of Unfortunate Events number 2. I don't have any of the other books in this series. My sister has the whole series in those weird editions that have like deckled edges and a very particular style. I did just really like the cover art of this, and so I decided to buy it just as art. It only cost $1, and I just think the cover art is really cool, so I bought it. I've read it, so it doesn't go on the TBR. And then I got 3 books, but I suspect I might have some of these already. So these are all books from the Pliocene saga. What is that series even called? Saga of the Exiles, I think, series. Except that these books are from the Saga of the Exiles, which is 4 books long, and it's where these people have been punished. They're criminals. They get sent back in time to a time before humans existed, except that when they get there, they find out that there are some kind of people there, and it's all very magical, and they have like these psychic abilities. Then as well, the intervention is, I think, after the Galactic Maloo trilogy, which is more of a modern day story about people discovering these psychic powers and kind of a murder mystery and a lot of conflict about whether these people are to be trusted, and just a lot of like this family that's going through difficulties adapting to their psychic abilities. And then this one, I think, is where these kind of futuristic aliens come and like meet humanity because we reach a certain level of ability. I don't really remember. I read these but a long time ago, so they don't go on the TBR, but I suspect one of these two I might already own. So let's have a look. Oh, I put a bunch of books in front of it. That's helpful. Right, so the books I have already is The Many-Colored Land. No, wait, what? Ah! Now everything's on the floor while I try to work this out. Right, so there's 4 books. It's a quartet, and I've won it. So these 3 is book 2, which I just bought, book 3, which I already owned, and I saw it there but I thought I had it, so I didn't get it, so well done. And then also book 4. So I've got books 2 to 4 in this edition, but I also have this omnibus which has books 1 and 2 in it. So I do have a little bit of an overlap in this new one I bought, but it's in the same edition. If I could get the first book in this edition, I could get rid of this omnibus. It's a bit weird. But anyway, now I own the whole series, so I am definitely prepared for a reread of that series at some point. So that's all the books I bought. Most of them are ones that I've read in the past, so well done me. Also books that I really love and I would like to either reread or lend out to other people sometime in the future, which is what I try to have on my shelves. I only added 2 kind of YA middle grade series to my TBR, so Skullduggery Pleasant and then the Mortal Engines series. It's not too bad. These would probably be quick reads, so maybe I won't even put them in a box. Maybe I'll just put them on my TBR card. But if I don't read them this year, I'm not going to feel sad about it. I'm not going to feel sad if I've still got some books left over at the end of the year. I always knew it was a stretch goal. Anyway, I guess if I go back to the book fair on Sunday, I will talk about that now. Okay, the sun is going down and my cheeks are really pink for some reason, but let me tell you about the 6 books that I got on my second visit to the book fair. So, firstly, I got another Robin Hobb book. This one goes with the other books from the Tawny Man trilogy. So sadly, I couldn't find the other book in the Live Ship Traders trilogy. Someone probably got it there before me. It was probably there. So sad. But anyway, I did get Fool's Fate, which is in the same edition as these ones, I think, which is nice. I do actually already own this, so I own it, but like in this big version, which is very different. And like normally I don't care if my series are all in the same editions. However, I don't really like these really massive big paperbacks, so I'd rather have the small one. And since it would mean I do have a matching set, why not? That was my whole thinking on that. Why not? Then I also got another Robin Hobb, and this one's a bit silly. I got Renegade's Magic, which is the 3rd book of the Soldier Sun trilogy. And I thought to myself, I've got another book from the Soldier Sun trilogy, so we'll go with that. Unfortunately, I've got the same book from the Soldier Sun trilogy, just a different edition. However, once again, the one I had was one of these big, horrible paperback monstrosities. So I'll let somebody have this one and I'll have the nice one. Also quite pretty and in quite good condition, so that's good. I don't have the first 2 books in the trilogy, so who knows when I'll actually get to it, but I have it. Then I also found The Tower and the Hive by Anne McCaffrey. This one goes with this one that I got the other day. So this is the first book in the quartet. This is the first book in the quartet, and this is the fourth one in the quartet. I think that I never actually read The Tower and the Hive, so that's exciting, although I would need to read the whole rest of the series before I would feel confident going to read this, because I think it's been a good 20 years since I read the series initially. So probably I'll just put these on my shelves until I find the middle two books, but still, I was pretty excited to find this one. I think I gave a really bad synopsis of what this series was about yesterday. I still don't know any more than that, so. Then, these next two are kind of ridiculous. You know how I bought that young reader's edition of The Power of One? Well, then I came across this version of The Power of One, which is the full version. Doesn't have an ugly orange spine, so I thought I'll get this one and then I can get rid of my ugly orange spine one. And as well, I found this edition of Tandia, which is the sequel to The Power of One. They don't go together, but again, no ugly orange spine. So I'm going to use this to replace my ugly orange spine Tandia. And I'm happy because I've got no more ugly orange spines on my shelves. And then lastly, I found this book, which I was pretty excited about. I always find when you're going through the book fair and you're just going through the books and it's like suddenly there's a book in front of you that you just know you want, and so you just pick it up and it kind of feels very like magical almost, that this book that you wanted just magically appeared. So this book goes with this book, which I have had for a really long time. It's the first book in a trilogy, I think, by Julian May, who I really love because she wrote all of this Galactic Maloo, Saga of the Exiles series, and a long time ago I did read the first book, but then I never saw any more books in the series. This one is the second book, so I'll be able to continue. I still don't have any more books in the series. I don't even know how many more books there might be. Maybe there's only these two. I honestly have no idea. But I'm excited to read it. It was kind of like a mix between science fiction and fantasy. Actually, similar to Julian May's other books. But we had like kind of classic, like this castle and these goblins and all these more classic kind of fairy tale creatures, but as well there was space travel. So there's one planet where people are fighting over the kingdom, but there's also people traveling between planets. I don't really remember. Once again, I read this about 20 years ago, so it's been a long time, but I'm excited because I have the second book. And also, like, it's really pretty colors. Look at those colors in the author's name. Like, those are very modern colors is what I feel like. Maybe it's not the most modern cover in total, but like those colors, pretty modern. And this book is from 1999. So I was very excited about that one too. And that's all I did. I was very tempted to go back into the children's young adult science fiction section, but I decided that there was probably less chance of them putting new books out in that section, and also I forgot to take a bag, so I was carrying 6 books around and they're all quite big books, so it was a bit awkward. So I somewhat regret not going back, but also it's fine. I got a bunch of new books for a good price, the money went to a good cause, and I didn't add too many books to my TBR. So of the 6 new ones I got, I don't really know what to do about ones like this, where technically I could read this book next, but I need to reread this book. But I wouldn't really put this book back on my TBR, but I definitely can't put this on my TBR and read it until I reread this book. That's a problem, but also I feel like it's a problem for next year, not this year. Anyway, do let me know if any of the books that I've shown in this video are ones that you're interested in or ones that you've read before. Or also tell me, what is the best secondhand book deal that you've ever managed to find? What was the secondhand book that you've bought that you were the most excited about? Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are doing well, and I will see you next time.